Hi YouTube, long time no talk. It's been 2 years I think since I uploaded my last YouTube video, which is crazy. I wanted to do a lot of like moving content that I have coming up because I'm moving again, and so I thought I needed to do a little hi it's me before I just jumped into I'm moving back across the country, because there's a few steps we missed along the way. I stopped making YouTube videos for no reason other than I basically just stopped having time. And I had a full-time job. My last video I uploaded I think was a clothing haul, and I did that. I was going through a breakup, had recently lost a job, and then just gotten a new full-time job, which was very busy. And I just didn't have time to film. I didn't have time to upload as often as I wanted. I like that. And I also just kind of ran out of ideas. I was very burnt out. I was very not passionate about the content that I was creating at the time. I didn't really know what I liked, what my niche was, any of that. Like I wasn't having fun. So I quit filming and I started kind of doing more like short videos on TikTok, which at Mermaid Madey, if you want to go ahead and give me a follow over there. And yeah, I've been having fun doing that, but I also do miss kind of doing the longer form content. And because TikTok is so up in the air about what it's gonna do, I figured I do want to jump back on YouTube, especially now that I know kind of more of the content that I like to create, and that seems to resonate with my audience, and I feel like I found my audience a little bit more. What have you missed in the last 2 years? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. For starters, I got married. We have just our little wedding bands for now. We did a very little, quiet, small ceremony. There was only 8 people who came, and one of those was my sister, who was also our officiant. And it was very small. It was a very intimate wedding, and we're gonna do a much bigger wedding later when we have more money, time, resources, stability, all that fun stuff. So we're planning on doing like actual engagement rings and proposals to each other once we have the ability to do so. I also came out as a lesbian. I have thought myself and kind of identified as bisexual for quite a while, and yeah, recently really just did a lot of thinking and soul searching and came out as a lesbian. And there's a 3-part series of kind of like my coming out story, thoughts, feelings, all of that good stuff on my TikTok that you can go ahead and see, that I did at the beginning of June as like a little Pride Month kickoff. I also moved from Oregon, where I was living this whole, for like the last 3 years up until I moved out here in 2024. And yeah, I moved to New York, Syracuse, New York, for grad school. So I did a master's here. It was an accelerated program, so it was only a year long, and drove across the country with one of my best friends and my cat, and we got here and I did an accelerated master's program, which honestly I don't think I could have done it if it was any other way. There's no way that I could have done a like, I don't know, 2-3 year long master's. So having to only do a year, as insane as it was and as terrible as it was on my mental health and my physical health, I'm glad that I was able to just do it in 1 year and kind of just get through that. I got my degree in magazine news and digital media, so it's a master of the arts. Very excited about it. Obviously, graduating in the year 2025 with a journalism degree is a little tricky. We're working on it, and I plan to kind of chronicle that and show all of that on here as I move through whatever that's gonna look like. My undergrad degree is in English, and so when I graduated in March of 2020 with my undergrad degree, everything kind of got pushed and moved and changed, and everything was different. And so I went back to get my master's so I could actually use my education. It's been a lot. I can make an entire video on what the master's experience was like, what getting my graduate degree was like, what it was like at Syracuse, all these things, if that's something you guys want. So please comment down below if that is something that you'd want to hear about. But yeah, so that is what I did. That's why I was out here. And then that kind of catches us up to where we are today. I initially was thinking that I would probably end up out here for a little bit longer, bare minimum, just because New York City has so many journalism jobs and media jobs, and that's where a lot of them are, is in the city. and that's where a lot of connections are that I got from school. And so that was kind of the plan, was eventually my wife and I, Anna, we did want to move back to the West Coast. That was kind of our end goal, was to always go back there. But then with the job market the way that it is and the cost of living the way that it is in the city and even in surrounding areas, it really just kind of became clear that we didn't want to stay over here. We didn't want to stay in Syracuse specifically, just kind of doing our service industry job. She is a barista and I'm a server right now, and we didn't want to just stay here doing those jobs in a place where we have no family, really no friends or community, because a lot of the community that I had was people I met at grad school who, when they finished, most of them were not from this area, so they all moved home to do internships. A couple got jobs, and so none of them are here anymore. And then my wife does have a little bit of a few friends at her current job, but we just don't really have a ton of support out here. And so for us to just stay here and wait and cross our fingers to see if somehow, somewhere, someone wants to hire me to a city that we can't really afford to be in, really just didn't seem like what we wanted to do. And we both love Oregon and we love the Pacific Northwest, and that's kind of where we wanted to be anyway. So with school over and really no ties to Syracuse specifically, it kind of seemed like it was time. We had initially decided to give it a couple years over here if I got a good job in the city, but that just doesn't seem to be the way it's shaken out. So we're moving back. We're moving back to Oregon. We are driving across the country from here in New York to Oregon, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I did the drive last year, like I said, with one of my best friends, and we did it. We did it. It was hard, but we did it. And it was, I look back on it now being like, wow, that was so much fun, and we had so much time to chat and hang out and get to be together, which it was fun. It was interesting. It was a really cool way to kind of see a bunch of states I had never really seen before. We got to have a lot of time to catch up and hang out. We had a few mishaps along the way, but overall the move went pretty smooth. But what's different about this one is because we have 2 cats and the cab of the truck in the U-Haul is not big enough for 2 cats, I will be driving my car, Anna will be driving the U-Haul, each of us with a cat. And so it's going to be a little bit different just because we're not going to have someone to talk to the whole time. We will have phones, obviously, we can call each other and talk that way, but it just won't be the same having someone right there. I'm gonna chronicle the whole journey for you. I'm also gonna be doing some daily vlog style videos on TikTok that are just much smaller for just kind of day-to-day of what's happening on the drive. I just wanted to catch everybody up and kind of get us all on the same page moving forward. I didn't want to just start in the middle of everything that's happening. I am a storyteller by nature, and so just kind of jumping in without giving any background so you know where we are in the plot, in the timeline, just doesn't really work for me. So that's kind of where we're at. We are looking forward to getting back to Oregon. We really missed it. New York has been an adventure, and it was adventure being out here. And we don't want to stay where we're going in Oregon forever, likely. But it's a good stopping point to kind of regroup, regather what we need to do to move forward and go from there. So I can't wait to bring you along. I don't want to commit to doing a weekly video just because right now I'm not sure that that's possible or a thing that I can really do. So likely after kind of all the moving stuff, it's probably going to be roughly every other week or so. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy to be back on YouTube. I'm excited to be back on YouTube. If there's anything specific you want me to talk about or you want to see from me, please leave it in the comments down below. I'm happy to take suggestions. I don't really know what's in store for me and my wife even coming up. We're moving back, which is great. We're gonna really prioritize being outside and taking little trips when we can, and kind of trying to get my career off the ground and all that fun stuff. Lots of just vlogs, I have a feeling, of things that we're doing, where we're going, having fun, all that good stuff. So yeah, make sure you follow me on all the things. Follow me here, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Mermaid Madey. And I also have a blog called Musings of a Modern Mermaid where I write also. The goal is weekly. It doesn't always end up being that. But go ahead and tune into there as well. Next time I see you guys, we'll be packing to move. Have a great day and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.